Hello, my name is Kim Davenport, and I am the Communications Manager for Tacoma Historical Society. And I have asked two wonderful people to join me today to talk about researching your historic Tacoma home. This is a question that we all get very often from people in Tacoma. I want to learn more about the history of my house, and how do I go about doing that? And I might want to add my house to the historic register for Tacoma. How do I do that? So I thought we should all get together and answer some of those questions. So I'm very pleased to be joined by Spencer Bowman from the Tacoma Public Library's Northwest Room and Susan Johnson from the City of Tacoma's Historic Preservation Office. So thank you so much both for being with me today.
Thanks for having us.
And I think, yeah, thank you. And I think we will start, let me switch over to speaker view here. I think we'll start with Spencer. So when we get these questions and when you get these questions in the Northwestern, what are some of the resources that you can point people towards, and what are some of the amazing search tools that you have at the Northwestern?
Well, we've recently completely redesigned our homepage, our Northwestern homepage, and built a research guide for just that purpose of people who are curious about researching their home. They can kind of use, there's a lot of resources out there, and I've been trying to kind of create a one-stop kind of jumping off point where people can find information on buildings that are already on the historic register that they're curious about, that they saw downtown, or resources for their home, or pictures, or architecture materials and stuff like that. So I want to share my screen here and show you how to get there and how to use some of these resources. So first thing you can do is you can type in www.tacomalibrary.org/Northwest Room, all one word, and that will bring you to our new and improved homepage. And from here, you can scroll down and you can reach any of our collections and databases on the top. And if you continue scrolling past the blog, you can see this banner for home building and research resources. And this is where I would recommend everybody to start if they're curious. There's kind of resources of all kinds, and they're grouped together in sort of what someone might be interested in. So if you're interested in previous owners and occupants, there's some resources here, such as city directories, which we have available in the library, that are kind of like phone books in a way, that list people living in the town by address or last name. So they're valuable for genealogy resources as well, kind of track people through time and in the city. So there's like one per year that come out. Also a valuable resource that kind of can ballpark a time when a building was built as well. And so there's previous owner occupant resources here, images and blueprints. So there's some internal collections we have, and all these are hot links. So I can click on any of the blue text, and that will bring me right to that resource. So this is actually connecting to Northwest Orica, our new database. And these are the Merit architectural records that we don't have them all digitized, but there is an index here. You can click this, and that'll give you access to the different series. And there's corresponding documents here that let you kind of look it up, and we'd be happy to look into those records for you and work out you can come in and take a look, or we could work out a way to scan them. But let me jump over back to the guide here. So there's image and blueprint references, maps and neighborhood resources. And out of all these types of links and websites, start at the top, at the buildings index. Sorry, this is still kind of new. So the buildings index, some people may have heard of it. It's a address by address guide of buildings and their histories and citations that mention the building and other information. So each building and there's many buildings in here, has a record for that building itself. So just as a example, I'm going to type in the library's address. You don't even have to type the full address as long as you get, there we are. So I can scroll down and there's images and pictures, but within each record, you click on the address, you can see corresponding images from our collection that have that building in it. And if you keep scrolling down, you can see information on the builder, information on the architect, and citations for each entry in a newspaper or magazine where that building or address is mentioned. So some of them just have the title, like there's like really early things have permits. And then as time goes on, there's going to be more information. There's usually a little bit of the headline, and then within the parentheses, there's a little bit more information. So IL means there's an illustration. And so that's a nice place to go to find specific things on that particular building. Now, the library building is going to have a lot of mentions. Most homes and things, there's still going to be entries in here. But for instance, some of them have pictures. Not all houses will have pictures, but you know, each single family homes are going to have a lot less mentions in the newspaper, but this is kind of a good place to start. And for instance, this one has a library call number for a book. So there's a mention of this address in the book. And we can help you find these and look up these newspaper citations and get those and email those to you or print them and mail them to you along with the book references as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us at the library here for any questions on that. But yeah, I would just encourage anybody to kind of scroll through these, take a look at the subject headings up here, and do some exploring. We've all used those. My colleague Alona and I have used these resources many times. So if you had any questions, you can feel free to call us. At the Northwest Room, our number is 253-280-2814. And yeah, I would say that's probably the best place to start.
Great. This new website looks fantastic, and especially to have that page specific to, researching your own home or building. That's just really a wonderful way to bring all those resources together. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks, Kim.
So Susan, if someone decides after doing this research at the Northwest Room that they are really eager to maybe pursue actually having their home or building added to the city's historic registry, how would they go about getting that process started?
Great question. And we were talking earlier about frequently asked questions and misconceptions. Our office, the Historic Preservation Program Office within the city of Tacoma, often gets confused for the Historical Society, which we are separate. There is the Preservation Program. There is Tacoma Historical Society, which is separate, which is you. And then there's also Historic Tacoma, which is a local nonprofit advocacy group. So 3 distinct bodies. And then the Landmarks Preservation Commission is a citizen commission that the city staff work to support. We're staff liaisons for that. So all these different groups, but the Landmarks Preservation Commission is the group that reviews nominations to the local Tacoma Register of Historic Places. If people are interested, you can always reach out and ask. Ruben McKnight is our Historic Preservation Officer. I'm the Historic Preservation Coordinator. We're both happy to answer questions, but there is a lot of information online, and I'll see if I can share my screen. So this is the City of Tacoma's website. There is a historic preservation section, and within that, there's information on nominating a landmark. And just really quickly, there is a local register. There's also a Washington State register, and there's the National Register. There are 3 different levels of historic register listing. So the Landmarks Commission reviews Tacoma nominations. There's information here on the steps. There are some basic criteria. Generally 50 years is the minimum to be considered historic. So the property must be at least 50 years old at the time of nomination, and then also retain integrity of what we call the 7 aspects, which are location, design, setting, materials, workmanship, feeling, and association. the building has to retain enough integrity of those 7 aspects so it's able to convey its historical, cultural, and architectural significance. And then if you meet those 2 basic criteria, there are A, B, C, D, E, and F are the criteria. And you can pick more than one. You don't have to just fall under one, but you have to meet at least one of those lettered criteria. I'd say most commonly it's A, B, or C. Yeah. So associated with events that have made a significant contribution to broad patterns of history, or associated with lives of persons significant in our past, or is embodies the distinctive characteristics of a type, period, or method of construction, or represents the work of a master, and it goes on. You can read for yourselves. Those are probably the most common, A, B, and C. When it comes to research, depending on what criteria you think might apply for your house, you want to do research and build the story, build the context, and that's where the Northwest Room comes in handy. They have amazing resources, and I'm so excited to see that new website, Spencer. Want to go check it out. When you have I'd say a draft or a start to your nomination, it's always great to reach out and get some feedback. When a nomination is considered, ready for review, then it will be scheduled for review by the Landmarks Preservation Commission. And generally, the process from when you start that to when you go before City Council, and also I should say the Landmarks Commission reviews and recommends nominations, but those then, if something gets then forwarded to City Council, that's when it actually gets listed. It's by City Council, not by our commission. So the entire process could take 4 to 6 months in general. So yeah, but definitely reach out with any questions. And there's, like I said, a lot of information here online too.
Great, thank you so much. And I will bring us back to gallery view. And I'll just share a little bit of my story with my house, because it's actually what got me into researching Tacoma history in general, was getting started. I moved into my house just over 20 years ago now, and was very interested in finding out about its history. And that led to one research snowball project after another. And now I know a lot about Tacoma history, but just really wonderful to delve into both all the resources at the Northwest Room and then also work with the staff at the city to learn even more about my house. So thank you both so much. And I will hopefully see you both in person soon.
Thank you, Kim.
Hope so. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.